Have you ever felt like your brain just shuts down when too many things are happening at once? Like trying to run a super demanding program on an old computer? It's a universal experience, but what if understanding this feeling isn't about accepting weakness, but unlocking a new level of mental power? Did you know there's a specific scientific reason for this feeling known as cognitive load theory? This isn't just about feeling tired. It's about your brain's inherent processing capacity, much like a computer's limited RAM. When you exceed this capacity, your performance plummets, stress rises, and genuine learning becomes incredibly difficult. We're going to explore how your brain processes information and why it sometimes struggles, revealing insights that might surprise you about your own mental limits and how to transcend them. Cognitive load theory breaks down the demands on your working memory into three distinct types. First, there's intrinsic load. This is the inherent complexity of the task itself. Learning quantum physics, for instance, has a much higher intrinsic load than tying your shoes. Then we have extraneous load, which is the unnecessary mental effort caused by poor design or presentation of information or external distractions. Think of confusing instructions or a cluttered workspace. Finally, and most importantly, there's germane load. This is the mental effort that actually leads to deep understanding, schema construction, and long-term learning. Imagine a chef in a busy kitchen. The intrinsic load is cooking a complex dish, extraneous load is a messy counter making it harder, and germane load is actively learning a new culinary technique. But how do these different loads actually manifest in your daily life? And why is one so much more important than the others? The real secret to mental efficiency lies in mastering these distinctions, and what you're about to learn next could fundamentally change how you approach complex tasks. Intrinsic load is the unavoidable mental effort required by the nature of the task. If a task is inherently complex, there's no shortcut around it, but our perception of this complexity often misleads us. A fascinating study from the University of Cognitive Dynamics showed that individuals consistently underestimate the intrinsic load of novel, complex tasks by almost 40%. They called this the complexity blind spot. This oversight often leads to procrastination or feeling overwhelmed before we even begin, because our brains anticipate a much smaller mental cost than what's truly required. Have you ever noticed how a daunting project suddenly feels achievable once you've dissected it? This is exactly why breaking down complex tasks into smaller, manageable subtasks is a crucial strategy. By doing so, you're not eliminating the intrinsic load, but you're tackling it in bite-sized portions that your working memory can handle effectively, preventing that overwhelming shutdown feeling. Think about it. Tackling a giant puzzle piece by piece is far less taxing than trying to grasp the whole picture at once. Extraneous load is the mental effort that doesn't contribute to learning or understanding. It's just noise. Researchers at the Mind Efficiency Institute conducted an experiment where two groups learned the same material. One group received visually cluttered, poorly organized slides, while the other had clean, concise ones. The cluttered group not only took 30% longer to learn, but also retained 25% less information a week later. They term this the visual noise penalty. This noise could be anything from too many open browser tabs, constant phone notifications, a disorganized workspace, or even overly complex instructions. But now, let's look at this from a slightly different angle. It's not just external factors. Sometimes we unknowingly create our own extraneous load, making things harder than they need to be. How much unnecessary mental energy do you expend daily simply by tolerating avoidable distractions? Understanding this self-sabotage is the first step towards reclaiming your cognitive power, and the next section will show you how to actively build mental resilience and foster deep understanding. While intrinsic load is unavoidable and extraneous load is a hindrance, germane load is the superhero of cognitive processing. This is the productive mental effort that actively builds your understanding and creates robust mental models or schemas. A groundbreaking longitudinal study on learning strategies highlighted that students who actively engaged with material through self-explanation and concept mapping, thereby increasing their Germane load, achieved comprehension levels 2.5 times higher than those who passively reviewed notes. This deep engagement dividend showcases the power of productive struggle. Imagine if every learning experience contributed directly to a stronger, more efficient mental framework. How much more could you achieve? Did you know that by constantly asking yourself why and how, or by trying to teach a concept to someone else, you're essentially programming your brain for deeper understanding? These active strategies are not just about memorization. They're about forging powerful neural connections that make information readily accessible and truly yours, transforming surface-level knowledge into profound insight. Understanding cognitive load isn't just for academics. It's a practical framework for everyday success. Could a simple shift in how you structure your daily tasks unlock hours of productive, focused time? Consider chunking information. Instead of trying to absorb an entire report at once, break it into smaller thematic sections. Or try dual coding, combining visuals with text, which taps into different parts of your brain, reducing the load on a single channel. Ever tried tackling a complex problem by drawing it out or explaining it to someone else? That's your brain instinctively reducing extraneous load and boosting Germane load. Even simple mindfulness breaks can act as a cognitive reset, preventing overload. Prioritizing tasks to reduce simultaneous demands on your working memory can dramatically improve focus and decision-making. These aren't just theoretical concepts. They are actionable tools that, once understood, can dramatically reshape your productivity and peace of mind. But the biggest challenge in our modern world is still ahead. In our always-on world, digital distractions are perhaps the greatest source of extraneous load. The persistent notification tax study revealed that even unopened notifications on our devices consume a measurable amount of cognitive resources, acting as a constant, low-level extraneous load. Participants in the study who silenced all notifications for just 1 hour reported a 15% increase in perceived focus and a 10% reduction in mental fatigue. Are you unknowingly paying a digital tax on your mental energy simply by keeping your phone within reach? Every ding or flashing icon is a tiny interruption demanding a portion of your brain's precious RAM. Constant alerts, endless social media feeds, and the habit of multi-screen multitasking fragment our attention, making deep work and genuine learning almost impossible. Implementing digital detoxes, scheduling specific times to check emails or messages, and creating truly distraction-free zones are not luxuries. They are essential practices for safeguarding your cognitive bandwidth in the information age. You now possess a powerful understanding of how your mind truly works, not as a limitless supercomputer, but as an incredibly efficient, yet sensitive processor. Your brain's hidden RAM limit is real, but it is also remarkably manageable. By consciously navigating intrinsic complexity, rigorously eliminating extraneous distractions, and actively amplifying Germane engagement, you are not just working smarter. You are respecting your brain's natural architecture. This journey isn't just about productivity. It's about building resilience, fostering genuine understanding, and creating space for innovation, creativity, and profound clarity in a world that constantly demands your attention. You are empowering yourself to learn more deeply, achieve more effectively, and experience a greater sense of calm and control over your mental landscape. What specific area of your life do you feel most impacted by cognitive overload? And what's one strategy from today's discussion you're excited to implement first? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below.